and I look forward to it. But before I discuss a very historic breakthrough in our fight against the China virus, I'd like to provide an update on the recent wildfires in California and the storms in the Gulf of Mexico. Yesterday, I approved a major disaster declaration for California. Spoke to Governor Newsom as they battle two of the worst wildfires in the history of their state. That continues. The federal government has already deployed over 26,000 first responders and personnel to battle the wildfires. We're working very closely with the governor and very closely with a lot of great state representatives and local representatives, and we'll take care of the situation. But we have 26,000 first responders already. Our hearts go out to the thousands of families who have lost their homes as we grieve for the families of 2 first responders and 5 residents who have tragically lost their lives. It's been a very horrific fire, one of the biggest we've ever seen. My administration is also closely monitoring Hurricane Marco and Tropical Storm Laura, which are coming in rapidly. Hurricane Marco is expected to make landfall in Louisiana and tomorrow, and Tropical Storm Laura is expected to hit Louisiana 2 days later. This is somewhat unprecedented, the scope of the storms and also the fact that they come so quickly after one another. Both storms have the potential of gathering strength before they make landfall and could cause significant damage across the Gulf Coast and also in Puerto Rico. We have everybody stationed and ready to go in Puerto Rico and the Gulf Coast, and we have tremendous people. We have FEMA.
Oh, as long as we got tremendous people. Hey, everybody, welcome to the LieStream. This is President Trump. He's going to announce something about convalescent plasma. Even though the FDA said earlier this week, hey, no evidence that it's working really well. For whatever reason, the chat from YouTube isn't coming through again.
Is lined up. We have the Coast Guard ready. The Coast Guard has done a fantastic job. They do such good work, and we want to thank our great Coast Guard. I'm asking all Americans in the storm's path to follow the instructions of your state and local governments very closely. And I've approved emergency declarations for Puerto Rico and for Louisiana. FEMA is mobilized on the ground and is ready to help. They will be in there very quickly, very, very quickly. And I spoke to Governor John Bell Edwards also of Louisiana, and I've informed him, and at his request also, a major disaster declaration is signed and ready to go. We have everybody ready in Puerto Rico, the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, and also on the forest fires in California. So we have a great team. Unfortunately, we have some very, very powerful natural disasters. On the therapeutics front, this is what I've been looking to do for a long time. This is a great thing. Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. The FDA has issued an emergency use authorization, and that's such a powerful term, emergency use authorization for a treatment known as convalescent plasma. This is a powerful therapy that transfuses very, very strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. It's at an incredible rate of success. Today's action will dramatically expand access to this treatment. And I want to thank Dr. Hahn and Secretary Azar. I want to thank the FDA, all of the people that have been working very hard on this. It showed tremendous potential. This is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Warp Speed. That is everybody working together. We're years ahead of approvals we would be if we went by the speed levels of past administration. We'd be 2 years, 3 years behind where we are today. And that includes in vaccines that you'll be hearing about very soon, very shortly. To deliver treatments and vaccine to save lives, we're removing unnecessary barriers and delays, not by cutting corners, but by marshaling the full power of the federal government. We provided $48 million to fund the Mayo Clinic study that tested the efficacy of convalescent plasma for patients with the virus. Through this study, over 100,000 Americans have already enrolled to receive this treatment, and it has proven to reduce mortality by 35%. It's a tremendous number. The FDA, MIT, Harvard, and Mount Sinai Hospital have also found convalescent plasma to be a very effective method of fighting this horrible disease. Based on the science and the data, the FDA has made the independent determination that the treatment is safe and very effective. Recently, we provided up to $270 million to the American Red Cross and America's Blood Centers to support the collection of up to 360,000 units of plasma. In late July, we launched a nationwide campaign to ask patients who have recovered, and these are patients that have been incredible the way they've donated. But these are people recovered from the virus to donate plasma. Since then, weekly plasma donations have doubled. And today, I once again urge all Americans who have recovered from the virus to go to coronavirus.gov and sign up and donate plasma today, please. It's been really an incredible, just incredible people. The country has united so strongly behind this, and I'll go over the numbers, but if you look at what's happened and the success that we've had that people don't talk about, the United States has experienced the lowest case fatality rate of any major country in the world. You don't hear that.
Not true.
The European Union's case fatality rate is estimated to be 3 times higher than that in the United States. Europe has seen 33% more fatalities compared to a typical non-pandemic year than the United States. And I just want to ask two of our people that have done such a fantastic job, Alex Azar and Stephen Hahn, to say a few words. And Stephen, I want to thank you because the FDA really stepped up, and especially over the last few days in getting this done. The results have been incredible, and I think you'll see the results even go up very substantially. So we appreciate it, and maybe I'll ask Alex to go first, and then Stephen. Thank you very much, Alex.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. Thanks for the bold leadership that allowed us to deliver this very happy news today. Thanks to your all-of-America approach, America has done more than any other country to expand the arsenal that we have to battle COVID-19. And thanks to early efforts by your administration, Americans have broader access to these treatments, including convalescent plasma, than patients anywhere else in the world. In early April, early in our fight against COVID-19, the FDA, BARDA, the Mayo Clinic, and other partners sprang into action to set up an expanded access protocol for this promising treatment. President Trump is the right-to-try president, and he's fought hard to ensure that Americans can have access to promising COVID-19 treatments. Convalescent plasma has been a tried-and-true therapeutic method in prior outbreaks. But the president wanted to ensure that we develop the data to support its use, and this FDA authorization is one result of that effort. The data we gathered suggests that patients who were treated early in their disease course, within 3 days of being diagnosed, with plasma containing high levels of antibodies, benefited the most from treatment. We saw about a 35% better survival in the patients who benefited most from the treatment, which were patients under 80 who were not on artificial respiration. I just want to emphasize this point because I don't want you to gloss over this number. We dream in drug development of something like a 35% mortality reduction. This is a major advance in the treatment of patients. This is a major advance. Convalescent plasma is one new tool that we've added to our arsenal against COVID-19, alongside remdesivir, steroids, and a number of other promising options currently being studied. Because of the president's Operation Warp Speed, we expect to have other new results and new options reaching patients as soon as this fall. Operation Warp Speed is supporting experimental therapeutics all the way through to manufacturing so that if they meet FDA's gold standard for safety and efficacy, they can begin reaching patients without a day wasted. Americans who have tested positive for and recovered from COVID-19 can go to coronavirus.gov to find out a quick, convenient way to play a potentially life-saving role in our fight. Know if you donate plasma, you could save a life. We've also provided guidance so healthcare providers can contact patients who have recovered from COVID-19 and give them information on how they can donate. So thank you again, Mr. President, for supporting this remarkable progress against COVID-19. And I want to thank Dr. Hahn, Dr. Marks, and the entire team at the FDA for the speed with which they've approached this, the diligence to ensure that this meets the standards at FDA. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Hahn, if it's okay, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please, Doctor.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership. It's good to be here today to announce FDA's recent decision. From the beginning of this pandemic, the President has asked FDA to cut back red tape to try to speed medical products into the hands of providers, patients, and American consumers.
Just for a second here, while he was talking about the case fatality rate, right in our World in Data, it says, during an outbreak of a pandemic, the case fatality rate is a poor measure of the mortality risk of the disease. So we got that going for us, but 33% of America, of the European Union, is 33% of America.
And I just want to echo the President's thanks to the more than 17,000 men and women who work at FDA. They have worked day and night to, in fact, do that. So plasma is the liquid portion of the blood.
It's pronounced plasma.
That liquid portion contains the natural immunity that someone develops in response to an infection, in this case COVID-19. And that liquid portion can be extracted, and for many years, as the President and Secretary Azar said, has been given to patients with infectious diseases for more than 100 years. So there was a really good rationale for why this might work. And in fact, as was mentioned, in early April, an expanded access program was started at the Mayo Clinic with the support of the federal government under President Trump's leadership. And that has gone on for the last 4 months. More than 90,000, close to 100,000 Americans have enrolled in this program, and over 70,000 have received treatment. This is one of the largest expanded access programs in the history of FDA, so a very successful approach to evaluating how convalescent plasma would work. So in the independent judgment of experts and expert scientists at FDA who have reviewed the totality of data, not just the data from this expanded access program, but more than a dozen published studies, as well as the historical experience associated with this, those scientists have concluded that COVID-19 convalescent plasma is safe and shows promising efficacy, thereby meeting the criteria for an emergency use authorization. In the optimal treatment, the optimal patients, as described by Secretary Azar, treated with convalescent plasma at the highest titers, there was a 35% improvement in survival, which is a significant clinical benefit. Now, we're waiting for more data. We're going to continue to gather data, but this clearly meets the criteria that we've established for emergency use authorization, and we're very pleased with these results. So let me just put this in perspective. Many of you know I was a cancer doctor before I became FDA commissioner, and a 35% improvement in survival is a pretty substantial clinical benefit. What that means is, if the data continue to pan out, 100 people who are sick with COVID-19, 35 would have been saved because of the administration of plasma. We've seen a great deal of demand for this from doctors around the country, and what this EUA emergency use authorization today does, it allows us to continue that and meet the demand. And again, I want to echo the President's and the Secretary's ask of the American people: if you've recovered from COVID-19, please donate. It could save a life. And Mr. President, thank you again.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it. Okay, any questions?
Mr. President?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to first ask you about the COVID-19 drugs that are in phase 3. Are they going to be available to the American population? You and I talked previously about this idea of right to try.
Right.
Can we assure the American people that if it's being studied and it's in phase 3, you have that right?
You know, it's a great question, and I'm not sure a lot of people have been thinking about right to try. We're all waiting for the final answer. and maybe I could ask Stephen, but I would say that right to try is exactly if somebody is virtually terminal, in other words, they're not going to make it, and if we have these incredible therapies and drugs that are happening, Alex, I think it's a very interesting question. I congratulate you for that question because I think we're all waiting for that exact final endpoint. What about that, Stephen? We have all of these great, seemingly great answers that are ready to come out, but because of the process it takes, can we use some of this early under right to try, please?
So it's a really good question, and of course, it all depends on the clinical circumstances and what a doctor and a patient together decide with respect to the administration of any agent. But if you think about what happened with convalescent plasma and the expanded access program, this is exactly what happened. This program, so we have ongoing clinical trials that are randomized between placebo, or an inactive substance, and the convalescent plasma. While that was going on, we knew that there was great demand from patients and doctors. The expanded access program is a way of actually doing that and fits perfectly with what the president just said about allowing people to be able to use something that we have now determined to be very safe.
I think it's something we have to really consider very strongly.
Yes, sir.
I think it's fantastic. You should get credit for that.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. That's very good.
Mr. President.
Please go back. OAN.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, right to OAN.
Convalescent plasma as a treatment has been around for nearly 100 years. You mentioned Operation Warp Speed, which enabled this process to move along a lot faster. What went into the effort for this to be approved for COVID-19, and was that holdup political in nature?
Well, I think that there might have been a holdup, but we broke the logjam over the last week, to be honest. I think that there are people in the FDA and actually in your larger department that can see things being held up and wouldn't mind.
Everyone says I should fight my cravings. No. You know what I do? I snack on Blue Diamond almonds. Oh, come on. So I...
There are people in the FDA and...
We're just going to randomly cut in with a commercial? Commercials, no announcement? Just hold on. All right. Let's go back here. Join live. Fox just cuts away without even an announcement.
One of those 35 out of 100 people who these data
life and death. So we are being very strong.
Effective. Yet
let's find OEN here.
Political in nature?
Well, I think that there might have been a holdup, but we
What the hell is happening with his makeup today? Can you guys see that?
broke the logjam over the last week, to be honest. I think that there are people in the FDA and actually in your larger department that can see things being held up and wouldn't mind so much. It's my opinion, a very strong opinion, and that's for
it's a
political
strong opinion.
reasons.
That makes it more
This has
valid.
nothing to do with politics. This has to do with life and death. So we are being very strong and we are being very forthright, and we have got some incredible answers, and we're not going to let them be held up because every day is lives, and we're not going to let that happen. Okay? Very good. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Mr. President, in announcing this today, you said that the FDA has made the independent determination that the treatment is safe and very effective. Yet Dr. Hahn just said it was showing promising efficacy. So which of the two is correct?
Well, I think I'll let Dr. Hahn answer that question.
So under our legal authority for emergency use authorization, this is not the same as an approval, but it's an authorization and allows us to expand the access to this. And our data, we know we're going to continue to collect data.
Is it very
we knew
effective?
that for all of our
Is it
emergency
very
use
effective?
authorizations. So for example, remdesivir, which was approved or authorized on May 1st, we're still collecting data, and we will continue to do that with plasma
why
as
would
well.
you say it was
so
very
it's the
effective?
nuances of the language around the authorization that we use and the legal aspects to it.
It's a promising treatment. It's not, you couldn't say it's very effective just yet.
So I would say that if you're one of those 35 out of 100 people who these data suggest or show survive as a result of it, this is pretty significant for that person and their family.
We don't know that people survived as a
This is a
result.
very big day. It's a day we've been looking forward to. Thank you very much. Great question.
Was there pressure on you, Dr. Hahn, to authorize this?
He's just going to take off now.
Could you answer that question?
Oh, that's that.
Dr. Hahn, to authorize this.
Oh, there you have the announcement from the
All
President
right.
of the United
Well.
States that the Food and Drug Administration has issued what's called an emergency use authorization for convalescent plasma
Thank God.
insisting it's potentially promising as a COVID treatment
I
for
hate
those
this
patients
house.
who are
I
already in the
hate
hospital.
this
The president
house.
insisting this is a historic day, a very significant development. He says he's very pleased, very, very happy news. We heard.
Basically, well, we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing with this very effective. We're not really sure, but
That echoed from the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex Azar, and the FDA Commissioner, the Food and Drug Administration Commissioner.
no, we're not doing cheese yet. I haven't even had a chance to. I actually, just so you know, those of you who I haven't updated in the credits, look, see, I'm literally working on it, and we interrupted it in order to watch whatever the hell that was. So yay, we're gonna big announcement. We're gonna keep doing what we've been doing, and we're not really sure how effective it is. USA, US. Okay, good. I hope people are cured. Oh boy, yeah, cheese madness. Well, I don't know if we're ever gonna do cheese madness. Let's be honest with each other here, folks. Maybe if Biden wins and Trump's gone, no one's gonna be watching the live stream anymore. Then we can concentrate on your cheese madness, your fruit madness, your underwear madness, your sport like whatever. We can do all of that stuff. Let's see what the Wolfman has to say.
Stephen Hahn. We want to welcome our viewers here in the United States and around the world. I'm Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. This is a special edition. Dr. Sanjay Gupta is with us. Sanjay, you were listening very carefully to the precise words, what the president
Excuse me, Sanjay, but get a haircut, dude.
said, and what the two experts, Alex Azar, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and Dr.
Today, we are all cheese madness.
Stephen Hahn, the FDA Commissioner, had to say. What's your reaction? Is this a huge breakthrough?
Well, it was a little confusing, Wolf, to be honest. First of all, I don't think this is a huge breakthrough in the sense that, as Dr. Hahn mentioned, this convalescent plasma has been available. It's been used in over 70,000 people already under these expanded access programs. So it is a therapy that is out there and, correctly as mentioned, has been used to treat other infectious diseases. The confusing part a little bit, Wolf, is
since like the 1800s.
Is that, as you know, just a couple days ago, the FDA sort of put the brakes on an emergency use authorization. They were looking at the same data, I think, that a lot of people have been looking at.
No evidence of efficacy, and now it's very effective. So that was great. This is what happens when you have political appointees in charge of science.
Data that came out of the Mayo Clinic. And the concerning thing was that there wasn't a lot of what's called randomized trials, right? You put some people in one group and they get the medication, another group of people, similar people, don't get the medication, and you compare them to make sure, in fact, it's the convalescent plasma that is helping. If you don't randomize control like that, then you don't know. Could it be something else? Could it be another medication that's helping? We still don't have that data. I think what confused me, Wolf, a couple days ago, they said put the brakes on it. Today they're saying full steam ahead with this emergency use authorization. I don't know what changed. I talked to sources on the task force who say they haven't seen.
No, you can't cheer for the Vegas Golden Knights. Their owner's a big Trump supporter. Millions of dollars. Don't you remember Ryan Zinke, the Secretary of the Interior, took that taxpayer-paid expenses tour, stopped in Vegas, and spoke to the Golden Knights to give them a big pep talk? No Vegas Golden Knights. They beat Trump. No, I will ban you from Mitch in the Midday. It's a throwback expression. But yeah, no. What? You put money? You put money on Trump's team? God damn it, babe. Oh, boy. I'm going to end the podcast now. Suddenly it's a podcast. It's a podcast plus. I just broke my bicycle bell. I was going to be, it's a podcast plus. And I'd be like, that's true. The judges said it was true. This is the worst day ever. I hate this house. I hate this house. hey, if you'd like to raise money for a new bell, go to kevinleefather.com. Or tell a friend. I haven't watched all the Sunday shows together. I was hoping to watch them together with you guys, but nobody showed up. Also, I didn't broadcast it. But I haven't watched them all, but there's some wacky stuff out there. What do now? Now we're going to shut down because we're going to be back at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, because Fox News is going to be showing, what's his face? Steve, the crazy British guy. So there's I'll show you guys a preview. How about that? I'll show you guys a preview. Good night, Andy. It's going to be after you go to bed. Something's making a lot of noise. Oh, it's Kevin Lee daughter. What does she want? Can you put my stuff in the dryer, please? Well, that answers what do now. I'm going to put her stuff in the dryer. Okay, hold on. We can actually preview here. Let's do it over on this screen, kids. Let's get rid of that. We're going to bring in, what's over there? Nope, that's not it. How about this one? Nope, that's not it. How about this one? Nope, that's not it. How about this one? Nope, that's not it. Hold on, we'll do this. Here's the coronavirus, stuff about the coronavirus. European Union, I don't know what he's talking about, the 33%. But again, during an outbreak of a pandemic, the case fatality rate is a poor measure of the mortality risk of the disease. But hey, let's brag about that because that's important. Let's get out here. Let's go to the twits. We'll find Mr. Trump. He's right there. And we'll find the preview. We'll find you a preview of tonight's entertainment. Here, The Next Revolution. That's what it's called. Hold on. Let's make it big.
Commentary on. We just had the.
So, this is now a promo for tonight's show that may or may not contain Yahoo Chat. Hey, if you're watching on the other, has the bot been sending? I haven't seen anybody from Twitter. Do we have anybody on Twitter watching? Twitter people, the chat isn't working. I didn't see anybody tweeting in there, guys. Were there tweets coming through or not? Yeah, I guess tweets. If anybody's watching on Periscope, I don't know if the chat's coming through. And again, if you want to support me, do this. Or go to kevinleefather.com, and eventually you'll get in the credits. Here's a promo. This is like professional stuff right here. Here's a preview of tonight's show.
We just had the Democrat convention. You're up next week. Right. A lot of the commentary on the Democrats convention was that it was very negative. It was very much attacking
Trump. Was dark.
Trump.
It was dark.
Right.
I agree.
What are we going to...
It was dark. We are a laughingstock. I alone can save you.
See from your party.
That was Trump 4 years ago. Hold on. Here's your chat. Relax, everybody. Here you go.
Next week.
Well, I think we're going to see something that is going to be very uplifting and positive. That's what I'd like it to be. I think you have to defend yourself by talking about some of the lies, like when he says Social Security. I don't think he knows too much about Social Security.
Yeah, when he said Social Security. You want to expand on that at all, or no?
We just had the Democrat convention. You're up next week.
That's it?
A lot of the
Security. I don't think he knows too much about Social Security.
That's the promo for the show? If that's the most controversial thing he says, which is what you put in the promo, I don't even know if I'm going to broadcast it tonight. So yeah, if I'm around, I will. I alone can fix it at random. That is what he said. He said all kinds of negative things about the country and the shape that we're in because the generals are rebels. The generals are just piles of rubble. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go, and maybe around 6 o'clock I'll come back on if I'm around. I probably will be. Where the hell am I going to do? Right now, I apparently have to go put stuff in the dryer. So hey, kids, it's been fun. Here are the uncorrected credits. Oh, whoa. Hold on, we're coming back. Don't go anywhere. Look at what happened. Hold on. I don't understand what's happening here, but look. Lizzie is on Twitch, and Lizzie is able to chat. the chat is working for Lizzie on Twitch, but not for anybody else. Nobody in here from Periscope, nobody. So I don't know what's going on. You get what you pay for. But the folks at LieStream are pretty helpful, so I don't know if there's anybody there today or not. So we may, if we don't have chat on Periscope for the second round today, I will direct everybody over to YouTube, youtube.com/KevinLeeFather, and I'll put up the YouTube window. And if Lizzie, we'll keep checking in on Lizzie. If you're on Twitch, Lizzie, come on over since you're the only one on Twitch. Come on over tonight and do the YouTube thing. Well, fantastic promo where Trump mentions that Joe Biden mentioned Social Security. Remember, Trump wants to make the tax deferral on payroll tax permanent, which then defunds the source of income for Social Security. But I don't think he knows too much about Social Security. Okay, be good. We're going to the credits again, and you guys won't be able to. We're just gonna watch Lizzie's 2 comments. So, Lizzie, if you got something else to say in Twitch, go for it.
Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?
Wait, what? It's Sunday. Go outside. Have fun.